Ronaldo won this 5 years ago. Ronaldo won this 5 years ago. Let's get it.
Manchester United in 2021, Ronaldo posted this on Instagram. Michael Carrick was a class act as a player, and he can become a great coach as well. Everyone thought he was being generous.
I actually remember when Ronaldo said that before, when like he was having issues with the Glazers, Manchester, and he was leaving. And he said that Michael Carrick is going to be. He was praising Michael Carrick and said he's going to be a good manager. I'm like, is he trying? At first, I was like, is he trying to make us say we should sign Carrick as our manager? Little did I know, 5 years later, bro is our manager, or interim manager. But he could possibly be our real manager next season, even though it's just the interim. If we obviously finish top 4.
Was an interim manager. 5 years later, Manchester City managed just one shot on target against United, the same players who were leaking 4 goals a game. The only thing that changed was the man in the dugout. What Carrick did in 10 days, no one had done in 16 years. 36 managers tried to beat the top 2 sides in the table back to back. Carrick did it in his first 2 games. But to understand how big this is, you need to understand how far United had fallen. And the man responsible was Ruben Amorim.
Go and imagine, from 15th, right now we're 3rd in the league. We're 3rd. From 15th, man. And Carrick beat the big 6 just like this, bro. He beat the big 6 just like this, as if it was just the pass on. Like, that's crazy.
Trafford was supposed to be his stage. Instead, he built a record that will follow him forever. He couldn't beat Wolves at home. He got knocked out of the Carabao Cup, and no matter how many times it failed, he refused to change. That 3-4-3 made him famous. It put Sporting back on top after 19 years. But United's players aren't Sporting's players. Bruno Fernandes is a player who lives off creativity, and Amorim buried him in defensive responsibility. Casemiro was finished. Mainu was heading for the exit. Instead of adapting to the players he had, Amorim insisted on his way. After the draw with Leeds, he hit out at everyone around him, said he wasn't a coach, he was a manager. The next day, he sat down with Jason Wilcox. Wilcox calmly suggested a change of system. A day later, Amorim was sacked. The season doesn't stop. United still had games to play and no one in charge.
I feel like when it comes to that, I would say that Wilcox probably told him to change and he didn't want to, and he said that if you don't like my way, just fire me, and they probably just did fire him. And the thing is, I don't get, people want in football to have a structure of play. No, bro. Even back in the days, there was not always someone with a structure of play. This structure of play, having a play style, all happened when Pep Guardiola came, bro. This passing around, keeping on possession. Back in the days, you play to the player's strengths like how Ferguson did. Ferguson never had a structure. Come on. Did Alex Ferguson had a structure of play that he would do? No, he knew as a manager which players to put in and which players to remove out at a certain time. But he would give freedom to the players. Look at Ronaldo, Rooney. They had freedom. Now playing under a structure like Pep, where it's pass, then pass the wings, crossing. Like, gang, it was never like this. Now everyone needs to have a structure. Everyone feels like you should have a structure. You don't just need a structure to win. Come on, gang. You don't need a structure. The players can have freedom of play like Bruno. With Amorim, bro was playing defensively. And he still has more assists. He has the most assists in the Premier League right now as a midfielder and the most chances created. And he was playing defensively for 90% of the season. It's just when Carrick came, the last 10% that he has played, the last 16 games, out of like 30, out of like 28, Bruno's playing as a 10, but 90% of the season he played as a defensive, and he still has most assists, bro. The most assists, the most chances created. Is the players had the ability, just that you're not giving them the freedom to play the way they play. And apparently also Amorim was training them too hard. Like, yeah, he was overtraining them, and then they'll get tired in the pitch apparently.
choice
and that's what caused most injuries apparently.
landed on Michael Carrick. Why Carrick? Because in his interview, he did something Amorim never did. He listened, he didn't set conditions, he didn't talk about needing 3 years to build a process. He asked what players were available and how to get the best out of them. Before this, Carrick had spent 2.5 years at Middlesbrough. The club was a relegation candidate in the championship. Within months, he had them near the top of the table, playing attacking, attractive football, and most importantly, he transformed players. He gave them clear instructions, he turned an average striker into a 29 goal a season forward. The moment Carrick took over, the immortal
29 goals a season. I don't know why we just lost to Newcastle 2-1 and people are turning on Carrick saying the performances haven't been the same. They haven't been the same because we play like 1 game a week. Because we're not in any competitions, because we finished 16th last year and we lost Europa. Of course we're going to be having a cluster performances. Like we only play 1 week. 1 game a week. Sometimes we can go 2 weeks without a game. You feel me? I get it. Like, give Carrick some time, man. He can be the next Ferguson. I believe in him. But I'm like 50% on him. I feel like he can become the next Ferguson. But the other 50% is like, if we can get Luis Enrique in Man United, do it. Like, if we can get Luis Enrique. I feel like Luis Enrique has been a top class manager wherever you went. And I feel like if you come to Manchester, you can do the same thing. So that's why I'm like, if we have Luis Enrique and if he can come to Man United, get Luis Enrique. You feel me? Because I don't think he can become a flop manager. He's like a top class manager. So I feel like if Luis Enrique can do it, then Manchester's literally like there's something going on within it. So I want to see how that turns out. So that's why I'm 50-50 on Carrick staying and Luis Enrique. If we can get Luis Enrique. If Luis Enrique refuses, just stay with Carrick. I don't want any other manager.
nightmare was over. From game 1, there was no philosophizing. He went with a 4-2-3-1, a shape every player in that squad understood, and the changes were instant. 2 holding midfielders instead of 1. Casemiro was no longer exposed. He had a partner covering the space. He could focus on what he does best, reading the game and cutting out attacks. Bruno moved back to the 10, receiving the ball facing goal, free to pick the right
and
moment.
Bruno plays his best as a 10. Like, he knows how to create his best as a 10. Bruno should always play a 10. Defensively, he did get his most assists and stuff like that, but his performances wasn't as he was still consistent, but he wasn't at the top of his abilities, as we know. That's why a 10 should always be Bruno's position. He should always play a 10.
For the final pass. Dorgu arrived at United as a left back. He gave him a chance on the left wing. Risky? Absolutely. If it hadn't worked, everyone would have called it a stupid decision from the new manager. In a derby where nobody expected anything from United, Carrick had been in charge for 3 days. The squad was broken. City were chasing the title. Carrick set a trap. United dropped deep. Let City have the ball. Nearly 70% possession for the visitors, and they couldn't do a thing with it. Maguire and Martinez shut everything down, and when City started losing patience, United struck. Maguire and Martinez shut everything down, and when City started losing...
Bro, Amorim, bro, this 20-year-old, he's the same age as me, this 20-year-old beast and monster, you keeping him in the bench, and you don't want him to develop with game time. Those are dumb. Those are some of the dumbest decisions from Amorim. Menu, you didn't even give him a chance to play a full game. Even in a cup tie or something, just let him play a full game. Like he never even tried.
Losing patience, United struck. 65th minute. Bruno drives forward from inside his own half, picks out Mbeumo's run, and slides it through. One touch, one finish, bottom corner. Old Trafford explodes, then Cunha comes off the bench and sends a cross in from the right. Dorgu gets ahead of Rico Lewis and hammers it home. 2-0. After the game, Lisandro Martinez said it was the best atmosphere at Old Trafford since he joined the club. And now back to where we started. In 2021, Carrick took temporary charge of United for just 3 games. 3 games unbeaten. Ronaldo under Carrick scored 3 goals in 3 matches. He wasn't even in the starting lineup against Chelsea, and he didn't complain. And we all know how big Ronaldo's ego is. That's what everyone misses. Ronaldo was never the problem. His problem was with managers who didn't know what they were doing. 5 years later, we're watching the same Carrick. Arsenal hadn't lost at the Emirates all season. This time, Carrick didn't come to sit back. It started...
Facts. He doesn't want... a manager that doesn't know what they're doing, and a manager that you can see you're playing in a system that is not working regardless of the players you have. And probably the managers weren't like trying to get the best out of the players, they just want the players to do the system that they have. That's not how, bro, come on. You have to talk to the players, see the best way you can get the best out of them, not the best way you know they play. Try to get the best way out of them. Like, Dogo, how you feel in this position? Or Dogo says, nah, I want to play more of an attacking or left wing. I feel like left back, whatever. Now if you say, no, Dogo, stay in the left back, and he doesn't play, it's just going to end up as you benching him because he doesn't want to play your system and he leaves. Like, not saying that every player should be a rebellious player and have their own set of position and refuse to do what the manager says. No, but at least hear the player out.
With a
I feel like the other managers weren't hearing the players out.
Martinez's own goal, but that's where you could feel the difference. Amorum's United would have collapsed right there. This United responded. Before halftime, Mbeumo pounced on a Zubimendi mistake and equalized. Then, 50th minute, Dorgu produced a stunning half volley from 20 yards after a quick 1-2 with Bruno. Arsenal pulled level through Marino from a corner. That would have been a fair result.
Another thing is Dorgu's injured. He's injured, so he's injured until I think the end of the season, so yeah.
But then Cunha picked up the ball 30 yards out. He turned and with ice-cold confidence curled it into the bottom corner. Arsenal hadn't conceded 3 goals in a single match since December 2023. This was United's first win at the Emirates since December 2017. 2 weeks earlier, United's own fans were booing. At the Emirates, the away end was singing, "We're gonna win the league." For a lot of people, Fulham was the real test, and it was tight. Deep into stoppage time, it was 2-2. Then the man everyone had written off scored the winner. Under Amorim, Sesko looked like a player who didn't belong at this level. The same player who didn't want to take a penalty against Grimsby. Gary Neville said he was miles behind Cunha and Mbeumo. Even Amorim admitted it. Sesko was struggling, and that was a fact. And that exact player in the 94th minute, back to goal, turned and fired it into the top corner. Old Trafford went absolutely mental. And then came Tottenham. Spurs hadn't lost to United in 8 matches. 29 minutes in, Christian Romero went in studs up on Casemiro. Straight red card. 9 minutes later, United made them pay. A corner routine off the training ground. Mbeumo slots it home. His 6th Premier League goal against Spurs. 2-0. Bruno's 200th goal involvement for United. Only Wayne Rooney reached that mark faster.
We're playing so much good football, and people keep saying, "Oh, nah, you're winning when the other team has red cards. You guys win when they only have red cards." Are we the one telling them to get the red cards? Are we the ones telling them to dive in recklessly and get red cards, dive in studs up? Is it us? That's not our fault. We can't control that. So let us win our games, man. Let us win our games. And don't act like we didn't beat City with no red card. Don't act like we didn't beat Arsenal with no red card. Don't act like we didn't beat them other teams with no red card. Like, stop.
This doesn't mean Carrick is a genius. He didn't invent a new system. He did what was obvious, what Amorim refused to do. Dorgu picked up an injury. Casemiro is 33. There's a massive amount of work ahead if Carrick stays beyond this season. But the most important thing is that something is finally changing at United after billions spent going nowhere. The players look like they believe in each other again. The atmosphere at Old Trafford is back, and you can't buy that.
Even though our performances the last 3 games have been bad, we've come out with a win and just 1 loss. Like, that's good. That's really good. Even though our performances have been bad, at least we're winning games. No matter how we pull through, we are winning games. Those type of games where we used to play bad, we would never pull through with a win. It would never happen. We would never come out of those both teams playing bad and you will have a goal. We're always on the receiving end of that. So I fuck with it. What the comments say. Not as the same guy who wanted Luis Enrique 2021 for Manchester as a coach. His knowledge of the game is beyond what we can imagine. The thing is, people really understand how great Ronaldo understanding the game is. Give Amorim credit, he brought machines, he set the standards and sold the deadwood. Exactly. If we had players like Rashford and Garnacho, then the Carrick impact wouldn't have happened. The only good thing Amorim did was clearing deadwood. and getting rid of all the ego guys who thought they were bigger than the club itself. Yeah, we have to give Amarin credit too. He did get rid of Garnacho, Rashford, Sancho, Anthony. So yeah, shout out to Amarin for that. But yeah, I think that's it.